10cc, I'm not in love. This is the Wynne Evans Show on BBC Radio Wales. Now, back in April, I spoke to giant veg growing expert Phil Vowles, who left me with a marrow plant, and for me to attempt to grow my own, of course, I delegated. That's the best thing you could possibly do with a marrow plant. Let me tell you now. I delegated to producer Linda, and the plant produced 2 enormous marrows, the largest of which weighs over 6 kilos. But what to do with them now? Well, Lisa Fearn is here from Pumpkin Patch Kitchen in Carmarthen with some suggestions. Hello.
Hello.
You are my marrow expert. Did you ever
No
think
pressure.
in your wildest dreams that your career would end in such glitter and pizzazz?
No, I did not. And when I heard you say marrow expert, I thought, oh no, pressure.
Tell me about Pumpkin Patch Kitchen first.
Yeah, well, we're a cookery school based just outside Carmarthen, and we specialise in cookery and gardening, introducing children basically to just what you've done, sowing the seed and seeing it right through to harvest and then cooking with it.
I didn't. I didn't do any of that. But yes, my people did.
Yes,
I'm joking, they're not my people, but producer Linda took on the challenge and she's done very well, I've got to say.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, very well.
Except, I must say though, you see, because I'm not a giant veg grower, I try and catch them before they get to that stage.
Yeah, me too.
They're a bit more useful in the sort of courgette stage, before. But then, you go on holidays for a week, 10 days, you blink, it rains, and suddenly you've got a giant on your hands. And you can find them, you don't even see them. Then, the foliage dies back this time of year now, and then you think, oh my gosh, look at that, which is exciting, especially if you've got young kids. It's lovely. But what do you do with it?
What do you do? Well, look, we're getting loads of ideas in, right?
Yeah.
A marrow cake, similar to a carrot cake recipe, but the same. That says Stella in Bridgend. What have you got for me, though, Lisa?
Well, first of all, before you do anything with it, you need to enter the Aberglasney Giant Vegetable Competition on the 15th of October. Okay, I'll take it back with me if you like. I won.
Okay.
I actually won. My claim to fame. They don't do giant veg, but one of them on my pumpkins took off about must be 4 or 5 years ago now. It was their first ever giant veg competition, and I had a 54 kilo pumpkin.
Wow!
I actually had to wheelbarrow it in, and I couldn't lift it. But it's a good competition.
Okay.
Medwyn is down there. Medwyn Williams, the famous Medwyn Williams, judging. So first of all, before you chop it up,
enter it.
See if it's got a chance there.
Well, Dorothy in Aberaeron says marrow suggestions: weigh and photograph your marrow, then send it to the local press.
Well, there we go.
And challenge anybody to beat it. Marrow jam is very tasty, she said. My mum used to make it when I was a little girl, and stuff the marrow with beef and roast it in the oven. That's come in quite a lot. But right, so we've entered the Aberglasney Giant Veg competition. We are rich with success.
Yeah, you've got your rosette.
We've got our rosette.
Yeah.
What do we do with the marrow then?
Right, well, the next thing is you can just look at it all winter and decorate it outside your porch.
What have you been taking?
No, the thing is, the marrow itself does not taste of very much at all. So the secret is to add flavour. That's the first thing.
Okay.
So, you either camouflage it and use it for its moistening properties, like in courgette cake or in courgette, maybe in bacon muffins and that sort of thing. And it does add a lot of moisture. It's like adding maybe almonds, you get a nice, moist, rich cake.
Really?
Yes. If you're prone to dry sponges, go down the almond or the courgette route. Other than that, add a lot of spices and like turmeric, Cajun seasoning, garam masala, anything to add flavour. And that even goes for your chutneys and your jams. So maybe a little bit of chilli with your marrow in a marrow chili jam. That's really nice. So
how would I make that? How would I make a marrow chili jam?
Well, basically, you boil up the flesh, you peel it, you boil up the flesh, you take the pips out of the middle.
Yeah.
That's standard for most recipes. If you're going to stuff it, you take that middle bit out. That's full of water, and it'll just add lots of moisture and not very much else. And you've got those irritating pips in your mouth as well then. So you take those out. The flesh is what's useful. Think of it like a butternut squash or a pumpkin. It's the flesh you want, not the skin, not the middle bit. And that's what you then boil up with sugar. And it's the standard pumpkin sort of jam recipe. It's sugar basically and pectin. So you could add a bit of Bramley apple to increase the pectin levels to get it a setting point, and add any flavour you like, such as chilli. I like a bit of oomph in my food, so I like to add chilli. And also then you can dice it up and add it to curries and things. The secret, if you're going to make it into a curry or something that is like a stew or a casserole, to make the body of it first and then add the pieces at the end, because they're so high in water water, they will just turn and go into a mush. But if you want to have that little bit of texture and a little bit of bite, just add them till they warm through, take up the flavour, and then you've still got a little bit of substance there, you know, that you can recognise what you're eating.
What about as one of our 5 a day, right? Because what I used to do was get a courgette and grate it into like a spaghetti bolognese or something like that.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. And it's a good way of getting extra veg into children that don't like to see it, you know?
Okay, well look, stay where you are, because the pumpkin hotline is... Pumpkin, you've got me saying pumpkin now. The Marrow hotline is ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
If we did have a pumpkin, it would be exactly the same number. 03700 100 110 or text 81012. Got loads of good ideas, which I'm going to read out after Ollie Murs and Army of Two. This is the Wynne Evans Show on BBC Radio Wales, and this marrow problem we've got, 2 giant marrows. I didn't think it would be as the phones are ringing off the hook and the texts are coming in. I'm joined by Lisa Fearn from Pumpkin Patch Kitchen in Carmarthen. Now, Lisa, right? Can I give you some ideas here?
Yep.
Marrow and apple chutney is lovely. We used to have it as children. And when we were kids, we used to have marrow stuffed with mincemeat for Christmas dinner because chickens were a luxury. That comes from Mary. There's a lot of those. Hi, Wynne and team. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. On the marrow debate. There's no debate. I mean, they're brilliant. On the marrow debate, well, as you know, nobody cooks like your mum and your gran. Now, my mum would stuff it with rice and veg and roast it. What do you think about that?
It's a good way of doing it. Stuff it with anything. But the only thing I do tend to find is whatever you stuff it with, you eat the filling and you might just leave that glorified casserole dish, which is the marrow.
It looks good on the table.
It looks lovely. It looks lovely.
Also, add it veg and roast and put it in tomato sauce with some brown pasta.
Yeah.
That'd
all
be
of these, very good.
My gran would grate it and make roasties with it. Rosties, you know.
Oh,
little,
that's a nice idea. Almost like potato fritted sort of things.
Yeah, like a hash brown or whatever.
Yeah.
And there we go. That's from Billy in Northumberland. So come on, you must have a top idea, haven't you?
Me? Well, do you know what? One of the earliest stories I remember was my dad saying, and I still can't remember whether I actually saw it happen or whether he just spoke about it, but he was a great enthusiast, and probably still is, in making this rum. I called it wine. And literally, you get your pumpkin, not a pumpkin, your marrow, and you scoop out the seeds, as I said earlier. So you take off the top. So it's obviously it's long, okay? What sort of length is this marrow, this 6 kilo?
I would say it's about 100 centimetres.
A metre?
A metre, yeah.
Is it that big? Wow.
Maybe a bit less.
Right, well, you might need a few pairs of tights then for this one, okay? Because what I'm going to suggest is you take the end off where it's been growing, where you've got the little handle, okay? And you scoop out, and this is a bit of a challenge, you scoop out all the seeds. You need a long 30-centimetre ruler, or a metre-long ruler in your case, and a wooden spoon. You take out the seeds and you mix a mixture of demerara, sugar and yeast and maybe some raisins, squeeze of orange juice or lemon juice in there as well, and you stuff it with this sugary mixture. You suspend it in a pair of ladies' tights.
Right.
But if it's a large one, I'd put one leg inside the other leg of the tights and then hold it, tie it up against a very strong rafter somewhere or a hook in your shed. But warm is good to make the fermentation happen.
Right.
And then you collect. It may take 3 weeks. You can put a knitting needle hole in the bottom, or maybe 2 or 3 of them, and you allow this liquor, this sugar-rich fermented liquor, to come through into a funnel and then into a demijohn, which is like a wine-making glass thing. And this ferments, and this is what ultimately makes your rum stroke wine. I've never tasted any, but apparently it's potent.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm in.
So this might be
in.
a challenge. I'm just looking up at the ceiling here. Anyway,
I don't think we'd have it in the studio. I mean, it would be.
The monster in the corner.
Ollie Hyde's be on it first thing in the morning. It would be a disaster. But I think that's a job for producer Jeff, because that's the kind of thing he might like to get involved in. And bring the results to the Christmas party.
Yes. And then you can do a second fermentation with this liquor that you've now collected over maybe about a month. You can then scoop out the remainder of the flesh and add a little bit more yeast, and then you allow that to sort of bubble through your sort of, I'm not a winemaker, so excuse my terminology here, but you put a little, the U-bend at the top, and you let your carbon dioxide come off, and that then makes a very strong liquor.
Oh, that sounds good, though, doesn't it? We've had similar texts in here. Apparently, there's one from Paula, which I can't find at the moment, but I'm going to look for it in... Oh, here it is. Wine all the way, Wynne. Marrow wine was the first alcoholic drink I had and got accidentally drunk.
What a surprise.
Yeah, that's from Paula in Antamoyle. Borid Darwin, it's one of your 5 a day. Marrow rum, says Byron in Porth.
Only if you're over 18.
I'm not sure if it counts for one of your 5 a day. Anyway, we got loads of texts to get through. Lisa, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I will definitely give the wine.
Yeah, it's fun. It's worth a try, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'll be back.
Are you going to do that? Could you do that with your pumpkins?
Yeah, I could. I've got a few. Well, I've got a few marrows I've got as well, and I've got some yellow ones, so I can try. I have a few varieties of wine.
Wow, amazing. All round to Lisa's for dinner. That is Lisa Fearn from Pumpkin Patch Kitchen in Carmarthen. For more details, people can go to
www.thepumpkinpatch.org.uk.
Hey, look at that. It's like we'd almost rehearsed it, isn't it? Right, more to come in a few moments' time. We will be celebrating, so whatever you're celebrating in your life, let me know. 03700 100 110.